All right, so right now it's antique German China head doll collection discussion time. And so I actually been collecting dolls now. I'm not an expert, so some of the information that you'll be getting is not something that a museum curator, you know what I mean? Like it's not on the level of a museum curator. I started collecting dolls probably about 1999, 2000, just when eBay really got started with selling things on auction. And I saw an antique doll, and I never saw an antique doll before in the past. They never even thought of antique dolls. They never even crossed my mind. And I fell in love with this antique doll that was dressed in this beautiful antique Victorian outfit. And I think I was more interested in the antique outfit than the actual doll. She was wearing this beautiful purple, I'll never forget, purple gown with this big, beautiful feathered hat. And she had accessories and a little purse. And it was all original to the doll. And I wanted the doll, but actually not the doll, but the outfit. And so I bid on it and I lost. And I didn't realize how expensive antique dolls could be. I think I bid like 20 something dollars on it, and it went all the way up to like 280 something dollars. And I was very disappointed. And that's when my collecting bug started for antique dolls. And I never liked dolls. As a matter of fact, I was a tomboy as a child. I used to like to play with mud pies and worms in the yard, you know what I mean? Climb some trees. My mother would try to get me to have a doll, and I always told her, "No, I don't want those stupid things." And I just didn't want a doll. And people would buy me dolls for my birthday or for Christmas, and I would throw them in a corner and never play with them. As a matter of fact, I had a bad experience with a doll. One time, my mom went on vacation to, I think it was Cancun in Mexico, and she brought me back this Mexican clown doll. And it was a handcrafted Mexican, like folksy type of doll, but painted with a clown face. And it sat in the corner of my room on top of my toy box. And I didn't want to hurt my mother's feelings because she was so excited about giving me this clown doll. And it actually scared the hell out of me. And it was sitting on the toy box, and it always was like peering at me, like its eyes looked possessed and demonic. And I just did not like it, and I did not like it at all. So one day the doll disappeared, and my mom said, "Where's the doll?" And I said, "I don't know." And the truth was, I really didn't know where it went. And then we found it sitting in a chair. And I kid you not, after that, my mom even ended up giving it away to my best friend. And my best friend called me up the next day crying hysterical, saying that the doll, she could have sworn she saw its head move. So that was the end of that. And so now I have a collection of dolls. And again, my collection started because I really like the clothing of the Victorian era and the accessories of the Victorian era. And so, what better not to display beautiful antique gowns, but on like a mannequin? And so, here is my China head doll collection, all made in Germany. And I'm not particularly fond of China head dolls, I'll be honest with you. When I started, my first doll was a bisque head doll, and it was by Armand Marseille, which is another German doll maker. And Armand Marseille was prolific. He made millions upon millions of dolls for a very, very cheap price for the middle class and the lower middle class folks out there. He had imported his dolls to America to be sold, also in Britain and all over the world. And so my first antique doll was an Armand Marseille because they're very affordable, and they're out there by the probably hundreds of thousands on the internet. So that's why I got started by buying one of those. Now, China head dolls, I never thought were very attractive, and I'll tell you why. To me, they all look similar. Um, there's not much difference in their little coiffed curls on the top of their heads that are molded. They pretty much have this like pale, pale white skin with the glaze on it, the painted lips and eyes. And um, I started to take a liking to them when I got my first Civil War era uh, China head doll. That's when I started to really open my eyes and take a look at them. And then I noticed that these dolls actually really all didn't look the same. Like, I mean, maybe you're probably thinking, yeah, they pretty much look the same. You see one, you see them all. But yeah, so when I got interested in collecting Civil War relics and antique Civil War photo albums and all sorts of accessories and things, that's when I got into the Civil War and started collecting China head dolls. So we have a variety of dolls here. Now, Germany was prolific in making these China head dolls. They were never very expensive when they came to the market. They were mass produced, and they were all basically sold at a cheap price, so every little girl could afford one. It was not an expensive commodity, and so we have different eras of China head dolls here, all across my table. And so, what is the oldest? Okay, I'm going to show you my oldest one. So, probably my oldest one here would be this one. And this one is probably 1860s, without a doubt. And here's how you can tell. And again, I am not a museum curator or an expert, but the spoon shaped hands. So, if you see these flat, straight, almost like cupped hands that like the fingers are almost straight with just a little bit of a curve, you know you have an older China head doll. Another clue, the hair. Okay, so if you look at my Civil War era China head doll and you look at a later version, here's what you get, and I'll show you. So the earlier the doll, and I don't know if you can see this, the higher the hairline. So as you see, my probably early 20th century, probably late 1890s China head German doll here has a lower hairline as actually compared to the Civil War era one over here, which has a higher hairline. You see how much higher her hair goes on her forehead as opposed to the more contemporary and later version. So that's how you can tell. Another way to tell is most China head dolls that were later than the Civil War or 1870s had little heels on the bottoms of their boots. So the older ones will have flat feet. So they have little painted on boots, but they'll be flat. And you will not see like a little heel on the back. So just to show you, there we go. You see a flatter foot. So that's another clue. So now we got three clues. We got the spoon-shaped hands that are like flat, like that, and not curved. And you'll see like curving in there. You'll see a higher hairline, and you will see the flat boots without the heels. You will also notice about China head dolls is most of them came with black hair. Pretty much as you see here, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dolls, and out of all 6 dolls, we only have one blonde. And so pretty much they made dark haired dolls because back then most people had dark hair. Not too many people. It was like pretty rare. Well, not rare, but it was more people having dark hair than blonde hair. They didn't really have hair dye back then. So pretty much the dolls that appealed to little girls were dolls that looked like them. So you see a lot of these dark haired dolls. So we have the oldest doll here, which is this one. Now, I don't know the maker. She's wearing her original Civil War era costume. Quite cool. And I showed in another video this doll, and you can see layers and layers of antique original undergarments. Her body is made out of cloth, and she has china limbs on on her legs and feet, and china hands. But the rest of the doll, from the shoulders and head down, actually is made out of a cloth body. I wish I could show it to you, but I don't want to destroy the costume of this doll. So they all came with shoulder heads and like the heads and the shoulders in one piece. And it was sewed down to the cloth body. You can see the little hole there, the sew hole with the stitching. All right, so my second oldest doll out of all of these, probably in the same time frame as this one, would be her. And let's get a zoom in on her face. And again, they were made by all different companies. Companies such as Conta and Bohm and Kessner, and there's like loads more that I can't even think of right now. And what do you see? You see her hairline. and her hairline is way up there towards the top of her forehead. And I believe this one is called a modified flat top. Now, the earlier the doll, the flatter the top of their head will be. Some of them will have a part down the center. This one does not have a part down the center, as you can see there, but you'll see molded curls. Let's turn them around. Here's a side view, and let's turn this one. And you see those molded curls, and there you go. And I'll turn her around completely. And again, you see those beautiful molded curls with the striations and lines going through it, showing you the details of those little molded curls. And here's our other old one. We'll turn it around. And again, you see a very, very similar hairstyle. Now, that's showing me that this is probably 1860s or late 1860s. Now, as we progress and go into the 1870s, let me find my 1870s doll. Here we go. Again, you'll see a higher hairline, but it's now starting to creep down, and I'll show you. It's starting to get a little lower, and the hands are different from our spoon-shaped hands over here that are flat. Let me try to show you. There we go. So now look at her hands as opposed to her hands. So now you see a cupping. Her hands are cupped. There we go. So this is probably telling me this doll is probably 1870s. And probably a decade older than the one on the left and this one right here. Now, trying to figure out who made them is very hard if you're not an expert. Since I'm not an expert, I guess I'll never know. So now as we progress in the decades, the hairline gets lower and lower. So as opposed to this one over here, we have this one. And we see all these beautiful molded curls, but the top of the hairstyle gets lower down on her forehead. And that was known as a lowbrow doll. But this one is really, really, really a lowbrow doll. If you look, you can see the hairline is getting closer towards the eyebrows. And this is a highbrow doll or a flat top or a modified flat top. Again, I am not an expert. Here's another lowbrow doll. And you see that the curls are getting closer to her eyebrows. Probably about 1880s, 1890s. This one is getting closer to the early 20th century, possibly even into the 20th century, about 1900, all the way up to about 1906 or so. Could be a little earlier. I could be wrong. Could be 1890s. So there you go. So now we have another interesting doll, and they made very interesting things, the Germans. And this is a fortune teller China head doll. And if you look at her gown, she has a paper gown. So it's like crepe paper. And you notice that there's folds on it. So let me go ahead and show you what a fortune teller doll looks like. So let's move this Betsy out of the way. I call her Betsy. All right, so here we go. Look at this. I'm going to show you something cool. So a fortune teller doll had hundreds upon hundreds of sheets of little paper that were folded. And all the work that they went through to make this is absolutely amazing. It boggles the mind that somebody would sit there for hours writing a message on each one of these papers. So how a fortune teller doll works is you would actually ask the doll a question and you would unfold a random piece of paper. So let's see what this one says. So we'll ask, is it going to rain tomorrow? And let's see what we got. And it says complications regarding legal matters. Hey, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I asked for. So as you can tell, she's an awful, awful fortune teller. Oh no, I hope I'm not getting sued. Now I'm going to have an anxiety attack. All right, so what do we have on the next part of her skirt? What does it say? And somebody actually sat here and written out all these little messages. And it says, if I can even read it because it's so faded, oh boy. Hold on. Let's zoom in on this. Okay, it says, I can't even see that. Oh boy, use something. Hold on. Let's really unfold this. I can't see it. I figured it out. Okay, so it says use precaution in finances. So actually, this doll, his fortune telling doll, is right on the money. Get it? No pun intended. All right, that's corny. Because I am a shopaholic. So it's warning me do not spend too much money, or else my husband will cut all my credit cards up again, and that's a whole different story. All right, let's check out another one of these messages. This is actually quite cool. We can do like a whole entire video of just unfolding each and every one of these little messages and reading them. All right, so what does it say? A dark hair, brown-eyed, young man needs encouragement. Do I know any? Do I know any dark hair young men who need encouragement? The answer is no, but maybe I can find a few. Hint, hint. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is quite fun, isn't it? All right, hold on. What's this one recommend? Okay, it says, cause for, oh, Jesus. And of course, I have an anxiety disorder and panic disorder. Cause for anxiety over money will disappear. Ah, there we go. I just won the lotto. All right, thank you very much. So it's warning me about spending money, but now telling me cause for anxiety over it is now over. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a wonderful fortune teller. I'll tip you well. All right, so let's see what the next message says. All right, I'm afraid to look. Take care against possible money loss. Well, God damn it. You are incorrect. No, no, no. Stop it now. You're very naughty. This is a very naughty doll. All right, so 1 minute it's telling me not to worry, then it's telling me to worry, then it's telling me about like helping out a dark-haired, dark-eyed man. All right, maybe some cute guy will come into my life. I'm married. I hope my husband's not watching this. All right. Uncertainty. Uncertainty. Yeah, uncertainty. Your plan may fail. Oh, so I'm not going to pick up some hot guy? All right. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, God, this is fun. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, you ready? What does it say? What does it say? What does she reveal? It says the coming of romance. Oh, wait. The coming of romance. Oh. The coming of romance and harmony. Ah, so I'm going to get romance and harmony. Maybe my husband will actually stop cutting up my credit cards, buy me some roses, and take me out on a date. That'll probably never happen. Next, let's see what we got here. All right. This is very interesting. A project about to lie realized. Oh, about to be realized. A project about to be realized. Yeah, a project. I'm doing a project right now. I'm showing you a late 1800s, early 1900 fortune teller doll. And yeah, that's my project. All right, next, let's see what we got here. This is actually fascinating. All right. You guys are probably hitting the back button by now. A lawsuit? Uh-oh. Oh, you will win. Great. So when I sue the government for charging me too many taxes, when I sell my antiques, and I had to shut my Etsy shop down because I didn't want to give my tax information, I will beat the IRS. That's great. Okay, next. Let's see. Yeah, that's sad, by the way. I had an Etsy shop for 9 years, 100% positive feedback, selling such interesting things like this, and I can no longer do that because they want to charge me like 28% tax, capital gains tax when I sell something, not including the Etsy fees, the processing fees, the shipping costs. So I'll end up making probably 5 shekels for selling my antiques because the government made a new law that if you make a profit of $600 a year or more on something, it used to be 20,000, that you have to fill out a 1099 form and pay 20 something percent in capital gains. Not happening. So now I no longer have an Etsy shop, and I'm very sad. So what can she tell me now that can encourage me? Let's see. It says, and it's very, very, very hard to read, much success after, wait, much anxiety. Wow, she knows me very well. She knows I have anxiety. She knows I like to spend a lot of money. She knows that, you know, I don't know. She just knows. Madam Zelda. What else does she recommend? Complications. Regarding legal matter. Oh, come on. Madam Zelda, knock it off. You're just really unbelievably making me very, very, very upset right now. I feel gloom and doom. Next, it says, a journey that, I can't even read it, ends in a precious reward. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh my God, this lady is like right on the target. Actually, she's not. I have agoraphobia and like haven't left the house except for maybe 3 or 4 times in 3 years, ever. Yeah, I haven't left the house in like freaking 3 years. So wrong. Madam Zelda, you're wrong. Okay, let's try one more. And I can't get this refolded, and I'll fix that later. All right, you ready? All right, come on, Madam Zelda. What do you got for my future now? I need to hear some good news. It says, follow. Let's move this. Hold on, get it out of the light. All right. Follow advice of a, hold on. Of a, can't even see that. Of a something. Of an unwielding man, of an unwilling man? What? What? It says follow advice of a, does that say severe? Unyielding man? Interesting. So that means I should listen to my husband and not spend any more money on eBay and Amazon. Interesting. And what else do we have here? Listen to some good advice from a friend. And I have no friends. So, you know what? You're wrong, Madam Zelda. I'm sorry. I live in a bubble. I never leave my house. You're telling me I'm going to have legal matters. I should listen to advice of friends I don't even have. And yeah, you're fired. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. So long.